Alright, y'all. There's another video. Loose change here. What we go about it on this channel. Um, got something awesome on the bench. Guy I ran into, great guy. He's a hammy. And anyways, I was talking on the 2 meter and talking about watches, and he's like, "Hey, can you take a look at my grandfather's watch?" And I was like, "Yeah, no problem." So we finally got it together, and here's his watch right here. It's a 23 jewel Vanguard Walthem railroad watch from his grandfather. And we're going to take a look at the goodies. I mean, look at that. Never been touched. That is exactly what it should look like. All original. Nothing's been out of place. Nobody's touched anything. All that gilding you see is all done by hand. So that's what's cool about these watches, and what people don't understand is all this engraving and all this was all done by hand. Um, and you didn't see it unless you took the back off. So that's what made pocket watches so special, is that the craftsmanship that they took to make your watch like it was is just amazing, and really, really do going the distance. So it's a 23 jewel Waltham. Just beautiful watch. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfect. And this is something that y'all gonna love. Look at that patina. You see that right there? That means that's been in a pocket. I mean, look at that. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want to see. Don't touch this. Light cleaning, but man, that is just this right here makes a whole watch. When I saw that, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was ecstatic, you know, just to even have this. So I told him, man, make a video on tearing this down. Um, for video purposes, like I say, y'all don't do this. Um, I do this for a hobby. If this something you're gonna do, and I encourage people to get in this hobby, but make sure you know what you're doing, study up on it, and take your time and get the right tools. Um, that's the most important. Don't go to Walmart and buy a screwdriver set and think you're going to fix watches. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. All right. So what we're going to do first is let's go ahead and get the hands off. And you'll see the hands are kind of blued. And that is a process that is done in the furnace. And it goes from black, I believe it's black, and then it goes to blue. I think it's backwards. And then the cool thing is, if they got it wrong, they would just keep it back in the fire, get it back black again, and then I think it goes to blue. So it's either or. I can't remember. I always think it's backwards, but I could be wrong on that. But anyways, it is a heat process. Okay, take our hand removal tools. It is good practice to use plastic. But this tool here does a really good job at this. Doesn't cause any scratching. So we use the tweezers that have these are nylon plastic. Look at those hands. Look at that. Look at that blue. That's awesome. So we'll keep the hands here. Now, does this run or not? I don't know. We're gonna do a special here. I hadn't even tested it. We're gonna leave it exactly like it is, and we're gonna go for the gold here, and we'll get our seconds hands off. I like to use a screwdriver on this. If this can't seem to get it, but like I said, you just have to take your time here. There is no hurry in this. If you need to take a break, you take a break. Um, you're dealing with small parts. And another thing is make sure that there is no power in the watch. Okay, this spring has to be down. Sometimes you'll have stuck springs, or you might not know it, and then you go to take some parts off the watch, and before you know it, you have stuff flying in your face, and that's not where you want to be. So let's go ahead, and these are the K-screws. K-screws, you can always tell what a K-screw is, and you can tell by the head. You can see how the difference. And I usually keep these here with the hands. So the K-screw and the hands I'll keep together, and that's the only thing that'll be kept together as far as that goes. Because you don't want to mix your K-screws up with other screws, even though there is a significant difference. But if you're just starting out, you might make that mistake. Okay, so there's the case. We'll get this out of the way for a little bit. We're going to leave that alone. A very, very, very light touch up on the case. Very light. And I mean very light. Okay, now we got the hands off. Now we're just down to this. And we can remove the dial, and what's cool is it still has a guard on it, so you know this hasn't been touched, which is awesome, because usually when people touch these, they leave the dust guard off, and I can tell you right now that it still has a dust guard on it, or it appears to have the dust guard on it, or it looks like one anyways. Let's see if it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Wow, look at that balance spinning, huh? I think we got us a good one here. I think we got us a good one. I'm pretty positive we got us a good one here. Yep, there's a dust cover for it. So that's a really good sign. Okay, wow, that balance. Look how good that's spinning. That is so cool. Okay, now that we got that like that, let's go ahead and take the dial off. Let's go ahead and use our cover here, that way y'all can see. These screws are real small. You don't want to back these all the way out. There's no sense in it. You will lose them if you do. They will fall out. So I go about 3 turns and stop. And if they do fall out, you're not even going to see them. Alright, we'll get your dial taken off here, buddy. And then if we need to go more than 3 turns, we will. But let's try 3 turns and see where that gets us. See if I can get a fingernail in there. I don't want to put anything on it that's going to scratch this. There we go. Okay. There's your dial. There it is. Enamel. Then it's heated in a kiln. Okay. Put that for safekeeping. Alright. So this is the dial side. And here is your hour wheel. You can see that. The hour wheel. We'll go ahead and remove the hour wheel. Then that's your canyon pinion. And this is like a seconds wheel. And we'll go ahead and take that off. So it's up. You can always know where these are at. because you can't get that gear back in, so it's pretty easy to remember what they are. All right, now we can switch this out, and let's go ahead and start the tear down. We'll go ahead by taking off the balance first. Why? This is the most fragile part of the whole watch, and because of that, you need to remove it. You need to keep the screw and the balance together. You do not want that separated. You need that screw. And that balance wheel is perfect. I can just tell by looking at it. We'll do a little closer inspection later, but for right now, we just want to leave it alone. We don't, okay? The less you have to mess around with that, the less chance you have of something going bad. Okay? So now we'll go ahead and we'll take off the wheel. This is a left-handed thread, so you have to go to the right. You have to tighten it to loosen it. Well, I was mistaken. I am very sorry. They did not do that on the Walthem. Okay, on the Illinois and Hamilton, that is reversed. Okay, well, I apologize, y'all. It wasn't reversed. Well, I apologize for that. I gave you all the wrong information. It's normally reversed. Okay. Ooh, come on, buddy. There you go. He's probably thinking, oh my God, this guy is tearing apart my watch. It's kind of cool to see how some of these are constructed because they use a different method. You know, Walthem is different from, you know, Hamilton or Illinois. You know, sometimes they might have similarities, but in this case, they're kind of different. Okay, so the screws I took out here for the winding and the ratchet wheel and the winding wheel, they're different. So the winding wheel is a shorter head, short threads, big head. This is the big head and a little bit, short threads, big head. This one here is a little bit longer. But the head size is a little bit smaller on the ratchet wheel, but it's a little bit bigger on the ratchet wheel. The winding wheel, and this is the ratchet wheel. Okay, now we have what's called the bridge. This is the mainspring. This is the main bridge, and there'll be three screws. And we will keep all these screws together with each bridge. Oop, don't want to take that out. Oop, I made that mistake before. Oop, 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 oop. Oop, that's for the spring. Oh, well, hold on a second. Might be just two screws holding this bridge on. That spring is for the click. That's the click spring. And we are not going to take the click out of this. There is no need in taking that out. Okay. It's going to get cleaned. It's not going to hurt nothing if it stays in there. These parts, you have to be careful on what you got to kind of think, hey, look, can't go buy another one. Okay, here is the mainspring bridge right here, where y'all can see it. Beautiful piece. Very beautiful piece. And right here is your mainspring. It's right here. And this right here is your winding. Okay, we're getting there. What you have to be careful of is what I do now is I'm kind of inspecting as I'm going here, and I see there is quite a bit of oil. So I don't know if maybe somebody put oil on this at one time or what. Now this bridge is all one piece. So when I go to put this back together, I have to put all these holes, I have to line up in one shot. Okay, so I got to get 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to line up 4 gears and not miss one. If I miss a pivot and I put this back on there, you can break something. So this is very important that when you put this back on, you are absolutely sure you have it on. There is no mistakes here. And there's your bridge. Okay, keep those screws together. Now you can see the layout. So you got your main wheel. You got your third wheel, your fourth wheel, and escapement. Okay, and then so what's holding this on is on the bottom side. You see that canyon pinion. So the canyon pinion is holding this. Okay. Okay. And I am going to get a container for these. Okay. So as you see, this one here has a point on it. Do you see that? That's how you know which one is your seconds. Which one does your seconds. So right there. So you always will know that long point does your seconds. And we'll keep that face up. Okay. And we got the escapement right here. Okay. And then next you have your pallet fork. And then like I said, we have this one here. Alright. So for the most part, the watch is broken down. I'm going to get this cleaned up. We'll take the pallet fork out. But for the most part, we got it pretty much broke down. There's not really much more we can do at this point. I'm going to inspect all the parts. We'll get them cleaned up. So y'all hang with me for a little bit. And yeah, we'll get this cleaned up. We'll get it put back together. And I hope we have a runner. Y'all stay tuned.